Ranieri International è un cantiere in forte sviluppo.
Ranieri International is a shipyard in strong development in the production and distribution of its boats and inflatable boats. Also, because every year it renews its already wide range of models. This model well represents the current market trends. It's the Cayman 28 Executive. It is overall 8.6 metres long and 330 centimetres wide and can be transported on a car's cargo trailer. The high foredeck serves to give volume to the cabin below, and the entire surface is covered with upholstery, which, being divided with seams, allows to reduce the size of the mattress when it needs to be stowed. There are special straps that hold it securely in place.
The
padding on the forward side of the bridge house actually widens the sill area. The padding is made really well, thanks to a shoulder pad that protects the safety handles. A couple of steps lead us to the second half of the hull dedicated to the helm station and the living area. The console is one of the elements that make Ranieri International models recognisable. Either they are boats or rubber dinghies. The steel-edged windscreen is sturdy and useful for holding onto, while the slots in the plexiglass allow you to safely grab onto it from the piloting position. The driving seat is good for 2 people and has seats which are convertible into backrests. Underneath, there is a fridge. In the multi-level navigation bridge, each part has a specific role. Above, there is the navigation display. Below, there is the display for the engines. Lower down, there is the rudder, the throttles, and the engine safety cutout, also known as the kill cord, which must never be forgotten. In the kitchen cabinet, you can insert sink and burners. Also in the same formwork, there is a retractable seat, which is a trademark of Ranieri International. The high bulkheads above the tubulars characterise the outline of the boat and allow to create high backrests, which impart comfort and safety to your guests. In total, we have 7 seats here. A sun deck is formed thanks to an ingenious mechanism and a top that folds in on itself, so it doesn't have to be stowed anywhere. The upholstery and gel coat can be chosen from different shades suggested by the manufacturer. Under the sofas there are counter lockers printed with scuppers. On the left side of the taffrail there is an opening that takes us to the stern. The bathroom platform widens between the engines and the tubulars to make this area comfortable as well. Ranieri International also builds a model very similar to this one which has the same hull. That is the Cayman 27 Sport Touring, although the Cayman 28 Executive has a cabin. The internal area is a refuge in case of bad weather, but can also be a berth for 2. Besides, there is the bathroom, which is minimal yet functional and well finished.
This
example of the Cayman 28 Executive is equipped with 2 Suzuki outboard engines of 200 horsepower. We are testing it in the waters right across from Genoa, towards the promontory of Portofino. Today the sea is rough.
La postazione di pilotaggio è piuttosto confortevole. Il volante è piccolo, ma ci sono 2.
The helm station is quite comfortable. The steering wheel is small, but there are 2 power steering units at the stern, one for each engine joined together. Therefore, the stress I have to make on the steering wheel is minimal. The electronic throttles are a bit close to the crown, so there is not much space here.
C'è poco spazio qua. Gli strumenti si leggono benissimo perché la plancia è inferiore.
You can read the instruments very well because the dashboard is tilted correctly. As I sit down, I can rest my feet on the platform or put my feet under the hollow, which is under the platform, and use the seat as a backrest. In both cases, I'm protected from the wind and very comfortable.
In entrambi i casi resto protetto dal vento e molto comodo. È impressionante la spinta di questi motori su questo
The
scafo.
thrust of the engines on this hull is impressive. The acceleration is as fast as lightning, but the fact is that this is somewhat a special hull, designed to be fluid and
Anche
smooth.
per essere fluida, scorrevole. Hanno disegnato uno
They designed the
step
step in the middle of the hull that starts from the edge and reaches the keel in the traditional way. Then towards the stern, there is another small recess that serves to better deflect the water.
Un piccolo incavo che serve per deflettere meglio l'acqua. Non è un vero
It's not a real step, it's just a cue signal placed where the bulwark and the hull
della
connect.
congiunzione fra la murata e la carena. Potete equipaggiare questo gommone anche con un solo fuoribordo.
You can also equip this boat with only one outboard, a powerful one, perhaps the 300 or 350 horsepower. In that case, it must have the extra long shaft. On this model, we have two 200 horsepower with extra long shaft. I navigate at cruising speed of 25 knots. I have not touched the trim. It is still in the lowest position. This way I can keep the bow down, which helps to open and split the waves well and does not make me slam into the water. The pitch is minimal because a large portion of the hull is still in the water. Overall consumption at this cruising speed is 40 litres per hour, which is definitely not high.
Sono a 30 nodi.
I'm at 30 knots, the speed has increased a lot, the trim angle is always the same, more or less, with the hull completely in the water, and I must say that the conduct of this boat has also remained more or less the same, which means that there are no impacts with the waves. It splits them open very well. There are 3 trails out front helping to shoot away the splashes, which is why over here we don't get not even a drop. Now let's work a little harder, shall we?
Ora ci impegniamo un po' di più,
Always keeping the trim down, we're at 40 knots. Course control is good, even if the waves come a little from all sides.
Controllo di rotta è buono, anche se le onde vengono un po' da tutte le parti.
Time to pitch and push the throttle backwards because I risk jumping out of the water with the propellers.
Dall'acqua con le eliche. Molto bene, in direzione
In the
delle onde.
direction of the waves, there is no control problem.
Adesso
But now, let's try to change our course.
questo scafo ha la medesima carena del modello 27.
This hull has the same hull as the 27 Sport Touring model, but in addition, we have a cabin which has moved the centre of gravity a little further, and in rough sea conditions, this setup can be effective, because having a little weight there at the bow allows you to keep a better trim.
Vi permette di tenere un assetto migliore. Avete una gestione maggiore del trim, cioè riuscite a cambiare di più l'angolo di incidenza dello scafo.
You have a greater control of the trim, which means being able to change the angle of attack of the hull much more according to the conditions you find. I think now might be challenging to push it to the maximum, but we must try. Full throttle, trim up.
Su il trim!
What a burst of speed. I enjoy myself more here on a rubber dinghy than on any kind of car or motorbike track. Wow, 45. In these conditions, the maximum speed of the Ranieri International Cayman 28 Executive is 45 knots.
Cayman 28 Executive! Cosa vi può offrire un gommone di questa tipologia e di questa misura? Praticamente tutto quello che desiderate per una giornata.
What can an inflatable boat of this type and size offer you? Practically everything you want for a day at sea, sunbathing, cooking and dining on board. You can also stay overnight for a period of time while cruising. Also, you have the sportiness of a fast hull, especially with this engine, 2 200 horsepower engines. And let's not forget the safety of this inflatable boat, of a hull which allows you to navigate well even when conditions are not ideal.